Next guest, Shelia Harmon, is a certified diabetes educator whose passion to help people with diabetes prompted her to contribute to the Improving Diabetes Care and Outcomes on the South Side of Chicago project, where she works to raise awareness, reduce widely documented disparities about diabetes, and empower the South Side of Chicago to use knowledge, collaborators, and resources to battle diabetes. And Sheila's with us right now. That's a mouthful, but it's really not as hard as people think, is it?
It's not, and what we have to do is just start to make little changes, and that's what I do when I'm teaching patients and I'm talking to people, to say, you know, what things are you ready to change now? You know, it doesn't have to be something drastic, but just something small.
Right, exactly. And as I said, when I did interview Patty, you know, a lot of her family members died before the age of, I think, 50 or 60, and she wasn't going to let that happen to her. And just small changes, as you say, starting from the beginning, because some of it is preventable. You can prevent diabetes.
And so there are things that we can't change. We can't change our race. We can't change whether we have a family history of it. But you're correct. We can change how we eat, how much we eat, how often we eat. We can change whether we're physically active or not. I tell people, you're sitting and you're watching TV. They may be watching this segment in the show now. Just do some things to get moving while you're sitting. And so you have to start somewhere and just do something.
Baby steps, as you say, you know, get off while they're watching us right now, maybe jog in place or something like that. But it has to be consistent. And you have to, in your mind, realize that this is what has to be done. Do I want to die or do I want to live?
And I always tell people to think of it like this. You have to have a love affair with yourself. You have to love your heart. You have to love your body. And so there are little things. Your heart loves exercise. It loves physical activity. Your kidneys love water, you know. And so you have to do things to say, what happens if my heart says I'm in an abusive relationship and I quit you? And it just stops. So when you start to love yourself, you start to make those little changes. Do I love the food more, or do I love myself and my body and my organs? And so you start to make those changes that says my life depends on it. So I'm going to live my life as if it depends on me eating healthy and being physically active.
And even if you so-called don't love yourself, what about the people you're taking care of? You have to take care of yourself first before you can take care of others, because you don't want to be debilitated.
Absolutely.
Yeah. Being obese has a lot to do with diabetes, doesn't it?
So when we're overweight and you have a lack of physical activity, you have a family history, those are predisposing factors that can increase your risk of diabetes. Have you ever saw anybody with like the dark discoloration around the neck and you're thinking, well, maybe they should wash their neck? Acanthosis nigricans, it can be a sign of prediabetes.
Really?
And so you have to start looking at, am I overweight? Am I exercising on a regular basis? What am I eating? And so, as you said, you have to make those small changes to say, let me give some things up. Okay, well, I can eat the bread, but maybe I shouldn't be eating bread for breakfast, lunch, and dinner. Let me make a small change and say, well, maybe have it once a day. So just little small changes to start with.
And maybe not have all the fried chicken with the bread or all the other things with the bread and things like that. Maybe instead of frying your chicken, maybe you bake your chicken, maybe you grill your chicken or things like that.
Baked, broiled, and grilled are always more healthier. And so what I tell my patients is maybe one day a week or every other week, say, well, I might have that fried piece of chicken. And what you'll find is...
Moderation.
And what you'll find is after a while, you don't want it or you don't desire it anymore.
Well, that's the thing. Your mouth gets used to good, clean food. And when you start eating the other stuff, you're like, ugh, and I don't feel right, and something doesn't taste right, or, you know, and then you get used to the good eating.
And you do.
Clean eating. That's
do.
what people need to realize. A lot of folks at home may say, well, you talk about exercising. I don't have the time. I don't have the money. You really don't need the money and an hour. That's all it needs.
And so, again, little things. One of the things that I do when I'm teaching a class and working with the patients, I'll have them check their blood sugars. And then I might do some exercise and say, okay, everybody move, do different things in place. And I'll keep them moving. And I have a little timer that I watch for 15 or 20 minutes. I'll have them stand, you know, do some squats by the chair. And then they'll sit and I'll say, okay, let's check our blood sugars. And they're like, well, we haven't done anything. So they check their blood sugars and the number has dropped.
In the summertime, you can get out there, you can go to a park, you can go walk around and things like that. Tell me about this. Speaking of walking, tell us about the walk.
So the American Diabetes Association has to step out and walk. And there are two different locations. So one of the walks is on September 23rd. The other one is on the 30th of September. And we encourage people to just get out and walk together as a team. come on out. If you don't have anybody to walk with you, there'll be a
There are
lot of us
plenty of
out there
people
that
out
can
there.
walk
That's right.
with you. And so, yeah, we want people to get engaged and get involved and come on out and walk.
Right.
Come
Sheila,
and find me and say, Sheila, I'm coming to walk with you. So
Sheila
come
Harmon,
and walk with me.
Thank you. Diabetes.org is the website for more information. Thanks a lot, Sheila.